Hey, this is Rahul and how's it going everyone? Today the KTM Duke 790 was launched in India for an ex-showroom price of 8.64 lakhs, 105 horsepower and 86 Newton meters of torque. As usual, we have a trellis frame with the engine being the stressed member, making the motorcycle super lightweight at 189 kilograms of curb weight. We have a very small fuel tank which is 14 liters, which I think it's smaller for those who want to tour on this bike, but those who want to take it to track days or sport riding, this is going to be enough. On the braking front, KTM has dual 300mm discs up front, and this time they are self-branding it, so these are KTM brakes, not from Brembo or Bybre or any other manufacturer like Nissan. And the rear is 240mm disc, 43mm open cartridge, upside down forks from WP. Now KTM owns WP, so they always use their suspension, and these are non-adjustable suspension, whereas the rear is the monoshock. Only preload is adjustable. When we look at the competition, some of their suspension is more than preload adjustable. Some of them have front adjustable suspension, some of them have rebound damping as well on the rear. So suspension is one of the weaker points in terms of adjustability. Seat height has been a concern for many Indian riders, especially since our average height is shorter. It's 825mm, and yes, that is on the higher side, but they do have a power parts option which can reduce the seat height further by 20mm, which is a big step for coming out to all of the women riders or shorter riders. Now if you're looking at prices, 8.64 lakhs is a bit higher than we were expecting, and we are slightly disappointed. But to make up for it, this motorcycle is coming up with the full electronics package, which is similar to liter bikes and is way over anything that the competition has to offer. 4 riding modes including track, rain, street and sports, but the track mode is my favorite because on the track mode you have the adjustability of the traction control, wheelie control, launch control. All of that you can customize and adjust, so that track mode is not just for track, it is also for those who want to tweak in your own settings. In comparison, I would like to say that only Ducati Monster 821 has this level of customization. It allows you to customize every mode, whereas here only the track mode is customizable. When you look at the Z900, doesn't have any electronics. The Gixxer S750 only has a basic level traction control. The same is true for the Triumph Street Triple S. Now quick shifter both up and down is standard on the bike, which is an accessory on the Ducati Monster 821 and probably on the Street Triple S as well, but doesn't come in the GSX S750 or the Z900. So only bike to come factory fitted with up and down quick shifter. Now I'd like to remind you that on the Street Triple S the quick shifter is only up. On the Ducati it is both up and down, but you have to pay extra for that, and those motorcycles, when you look at the price, are already expensive. Something new that's coming in with the gyro system, something called the Bosch's motorcycle stability system. This has been a prototype and been testing for 3 years. I've seen some demo videos where the motorcycle takes in 16 sensor inputs, and the gyro and the ECU together manage everything from wheel speed to lean angle to the how much power actually goes through, including your throttle response. They were actually demonstrating this by using some of the high lean angles on a wet corner, and when you open up the throttle coming out of the corner, if the motorcycle has a sudden gain of traction, what happens is the rear kind of destabilizes. This takes you out of those hairy situations. Now a lot of people talk about KTM bikes being unsafe. I think it's a lot of crap because KTM's come with better brakes than most other brands, but this time with the motorcycle stability control we can strongly claim that this is the safest bike because of all of that electronics taking care of you when you come up in a hairy situation. They're just gonna bail you out. Launch control, wheelie control, these are not there anything less than liter bikes. The first time we are seeing this in such a platform. In every launch, KTM makes it a habit of comparing it with other bikes, and this time they didn't. So I thought, why don't we do it? KTM currently has 4 competitors in this segment: the Street Triple S, the GSX S750, the Z900 and the Ducati Monster 821. We have kept the Street Triple RS out of this because it costs almost 40% more, which is like completely in liter bike territory, so we are keeping it out, but it is a phenomenal motorcycle. Let's move into the power figures. KTM has 105 horsepower, whereas all of the other motorcycles here have more. If you notice, Street Triple S has 111 horsepower and the highest power to weight ratio, because when you're looking at the power, the inline 4 motorcycles like the GSX S750, which has a 749cc inline 4 engine, it is having more power at 113 horsepower, but when you compare it with the weight, the power to weight ratio is going to give you a more realistic number of what kind of performance you can expect. The other inline for the Z900,
how this changes lanes and then it goes blowing into the corner.
is 210 kilograms, but it is having a really good power to weight ratio thanks to its 123.3 horsepower, and whereas the Ducati Monster 821 is having the worst power to weight ratio with 107 horsepower but a weight of 206 kilograms. So despite having the lighter twin cylinder engine, Ducati could not do much with the 821 L twin in the power to weight ratio. So KTM evenly poised in the power to weight ratio game, I would say. With the 14 liters of fuel tank capacity, even the Duke 390 has 13 liters. All of the competition has bigger fuel tanks, close to 17 liters. And here, the people who are gonna take it on long tours are really gonna suffer. Braking is the other department. Here, the KTM is going with proprietary KTM brakes, whereas I've tested the brakes on the Street Triple S. I would say they're good. On the Z900, I haven't really like the braking system too much. It is okay, but with the tires and the ABS system, which I did not like that much, overall braking feel wasn't that good. Here the Ducati Monster 821 with its 4-piston Brembo 4.32 radially mounted calipers shine the most. It has the most phenomenal braking in all of these bikes. KTM's coming with Maxxis Super Max. I have no experience with the Maxxis brand. I've never ridden on it. We cannot comment on it, but the Ducati and the Triumph come with better tires from Pirelli, I believe. And when you're looking at the Z900, I wasn't really happy with the tires. The GSX S750 probably comes with good tires. It's the only motorcycle in the list which I have not tested properly, so I cannot comment on that. Suspension, again here the KTM is the underdog because it comes with its own proprietary WP suspension, which is mostly non-adjustable. Only the rear is adjustable, and that too it is a preload adjustable suspension, whereas you compare it with the Street Triple or the Z900, the front forks are adjustable, and some of these bikes also have rebound adjustable on the rear, and all of these bikes obviously have preload adjustable on the rear. So suspension wise, yeah, KTM's a little bit down here. The electronics, this is where it really seems underpriced compared to the competition. When you look at the electronics package, we have a motorcycle traction control system, which is a 9-step traction control system. I would only rate it comparable to the Ducati Monster 821. The Street Triple S has a basic traction control system, same with the GSX S750. The Z900 does not have traction control. Moving on with the motorcycle stability control, this is only there in the Duke 790. Riding modes, again only there in the Duke 790 and the Ducati Monster in a very customizable version. Street Triple S does have riding modes, but you cannot customize anything into that, so it's a very basic system, and the other two do not have any riding modes at all. So when you're looking into the electronics, with the launch control, wheelie control, 9-step adjustable traction control with the up and down quick shifter, KTM really walks the game here. It just easily beats all of the opposition, and it also has a gyro with 16 sensors telling it what to do. A lot of this electronics come together to give you the safest and fastest riding experience. It has cornering ABS, so you brake into the corner and it still keeps the lean angle, stops preventing the bike from getting upright. So those are features that are important to riders who really understand motorcycling, who are really looking to push on those high lean angles, looking to ride canyon. If you're just looking for a nice bike which sounds nice, there may be other options, and especially the inline 4 options, which has been always a favorite in India. A lot of people who were saving up for this motorcycle are probably saying that we cannot afford it. KTM has come up with a 1.7 lakhs down payment plan with a 19,000 EMI for 5 years, which pays the around 3 lakh rupee extra for interest. That's their way of telling you that you can afford it. I personally think they should have come up with a better finance plan. A lower interest rate on the finance would have really helped cut that EMI down to maybe 15,000. They could not give us the price cut. They should have given us a better financing option. First of all, it's a lightweight motorcycle, so if you like that, maybe you won't go for the inline 4s which are above 200 kgs. Second of all, it has got the best electronics package, no doubt. Third of all, from the reviews what I've seen is, and from my previous experience of KTM bikes, it will have the best handling. It's nicknamed the Scalpel, and they didn't nickname it for nothing. Now, KTM's wide service network, it has been launched in 9 cities on India today, and they'll be expanding to 30 cities by April. So that will make it the most serviceable bike, because when you go in with any other super bikes, none of them have such a high and wide service network. Also, from the KTM's previous experience, we would expect the service and maintenance parts costs to be lower, especially when you're comparing it with Triumph and Ducati. So lower maintenance costs may be a big incentive for first time superbike owners. And KTM's rider programs, like they will be having special 790 only track days and 790 only riders meetup and rides. So KTM has done it with their previous other bikes, so they do a lot of events. We can expect them to continue with their premium bikes. With KTM and Ducati, I feel the biggest brotherhood thing is there, whereas the Japanese brands have more or less failed to do it. Triumph is still somewhat there with the ownership clubs thing, but KTM and Ducati here really is a big thing. Moving into the negatives of why you should not buy this motorcycle. First of all, the fit and finish wise, a lot of people do say Kawasaki and Suzuki, but I would say they are slightly better than the Duke. But when you move into Triumph or Ducati, which are more expensive, but their fit and finish quality is artwork level, and it really feels great to own and touch those motorcycles. You have to ride one to see what I'm talking about. But fit and finish wise, I would rate the KTM to be lower. They are using some parts from the Duke 390, like the mirrors, I think closer to the buttons on the console on your hand, which you use to change the riding modes and stuff. It's coming from 390, and that's why it might not look as premium or feel as exclusive as some of those other big bikes out there. Higher than expected price. Yes, we were expecting 8.5 to 9 lakhs on road, whereas it has gone 10 lakhs, which is, you know, it's gonna break a lot of people's dreams. Finally, I would not want to end on a negative note, so I'd like to say that the KTM has full LED lights, LED headlamp, TRL, indicators and tail lamp, whereas most of the other bikes on the segment, actually all of the other bikes on the segment, are still stuck with halogen headlamps. And looks wise, I think also the KTM looks stellar. Maybe some people will confuse it with the 390, but that's the people who do not understand motorcycles, and like KTM said, they don't really care about those people. They care about people whose biking is in their bloods. So it's a motorcycle for the enthusiast. It's not a motorcycle for the show-off guys who gotta put a slip-on exhaust and an inline 4 and do boom boom with it. So take it at that face value. Now, I've reviewed all of the other competition bikes here apart from the GSX 750, so you can look at those reviews here, and you can expect the 790 Duke as well as the GSX S750 review to drop next month. So maybe hit that subscribe button if you're a first time viewer on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon. Goodbye.